Brad here with Custom Offsets. Got another episode of Lifts and Levels for you. This one's going to be a rough country kit. This kit's going to be a 6-inch rough country for 2015 and up Ford F-150s. 4-wheel drive this kit's for. They do make a 2-wheel drive version, I believe. Let's get started with it, and we're going to run through the components on the bench here. So obviously we got our brand new knuckles up front. These are going to be some cast knuckles that Rough Country has designed. They use the same ones from the 4 to 6-inch kit, so they're going to be a necessity for this lift kit as well. Let's start off with the front cross members. You notice they kind of got a unique design here. They have a high clearance design for them. They lift it up, give you a little more ground clearance. One thing you'll notice on the Rough Country kits compared to some of the other brands, you'll see that the metal that Rough Country uses is a little thinner than some of the others. For example, this is like 3/16 steel, whereas like a BDS or a Zone kit, they'll use 1/4 inch. So that's just one of the things that keeps costs down the Rough Country kits, and they work perfectly fine. I've never seen a Rough Country kit, a crossmember kit break. So that's just one of the things that people ask a lot, what's the difference? So you see a little bit thinner steel in the crossmembers. We got a front crossmember, the rear crossmember here as well. And then even for some of the brackets, these look like a drop bracket. I'm not exactly sure what this actually drops, honestly, but you'll see this is even thinner. This is like an 1/8 inch steel bracket, which is, like I said, completely fine for the purpose that it's serving. We got our diff drop brackets. These are going to be these are going to be 3/16 as well, 3/16 steel, which is, like I said, it's completely fine for dropping the diff down. Probably thicker than some of the factory stuff on the truck. We got some some braces. These will actually bolt in behind the cross members against the frame, and then the sway bar mounts to these as well. So it's a dual purpose. It braces itself against the cross members, and then actually going to relocate the sway bar as well with those. They do include, on the F-150s, you need a driveline spacer up front or drive shaft spacer up front, a nice little aluminum piece they have here, because the Fords use a CV style or Rosetta joint for the front drive shaft, so you need to space them. They don't have as much travel as a standard slip shaft with the standard U joint. Then we got some brake line relocation brackets here as well. Nice little stuff there. More brake line relocation brackets. Nice thing about Rough Country kit is they include these new cam bolts for you here. So you'll see this slotted hole for your lower control arm. They actually have these new alignment cam bolts, which is nice because some kits you don't even get those, and then you got to buy them at the alignment shop, and they're about $100 or more. They do have a little skid plate here to protect the front diff. We got the strut spacers for this kit here. A lot of times Rough Country offers multiple options. You can get a strut spacer, you can get a complete new strut up front, and they do have the Vertex coilovers as well. This kit's going to be the standard strut spacer kit. It will reuse the factory struts and springs. They ride really well with the factory struts, nothing wrong with the spacers. And then for the rear, we got our new blocks. These are going to be their fabricated blocks that Rough Country pretty much uses on almost everything now. They make their own blocks for the rear. It's their anti-wrap block system here. You'll see that they actually include a smaller set of U-joints that go towards the rear, kind of hold the spring down and kind of prevents it from wrapping, which can be a problem when you use bigger blocks. And then we got the standard N3 shocks for the rear. Rough Country offers a full line of shocks. They have the V2s and then the Vertex shocks. This is just their baseline shock, which is a perfectly good nitrogen charged shock. And then we got a bunch of hardware that we're really not going to go over. Nothing interesting to see here. The main thing I wanted to show you was the alignment bolts. So we're going to go ahead and install it in the truck here, and we will check back in once it's installed. All right, guys, we got the Rough Country kit installed on the truck here, so we're going to run through the components so you can see where they go and how it all looks installed. First things first, we obviously got our new knuckles here that we talked about on the bench. It's a key piece to having a lift kit that works well with the truck, and the suspension and everything gets along nicely, as well as the lower control arm drops here. As you can see, the front lower control arm is dropped down. The rear, sorry, not the front. The lower control arm is dropped down with the front bracket and then the rear bracket. And then you can see here where the sway on the Fords here. Yeah, this is a Ford. I forgot what we were doing.
What?
On the Fords here, you can see that the sway bars are behind the control arms here in the back, and they'll actually use this piece that we talked about on the bench to lower the sway bar down, but it also ties in here to the factory cross member, so it's just like a nice tie-in piece that'll brace everything together. It's kind of a nice way they do that, and they engineer everything here. And then of course we got our differential drops. That's going to be another key piece. We got to keep those CV axles as flat as possible, so you got to lower that front diff down. There's a few brackets to drop the diffs on the Fords, a little more complicated than some of the other trucks. And then we got a differential skid plate that ties in to the cross members as well here. And then of course we got our drive shaft spacer up front here. That was that aluminum piece, you can see it installed on the truck here. And then our strut spacers, of course, almost forgot those. So as you can see, factory strut has been reused, and we just have the new Rough Country spacer on the top. And then we got some brake line bracket relocation, so you can use all the factory brake lines. It simply drops the mounting location of the hard line down some, so that you have plenty of slack in your soft line. You will have to bend the hard lines a bit to do this, but we've never had an issue on any of the trucks that we've ever done for any of the lift kits. And then moving on to the back, we've got the new fabricated lift blocks in the rear, and we remember these are called their anti-wrap blocks. As you can see, they actually pinch the leaf spring down out here as well with these little U-bolts. Once again, that's to prevent axle wrap that may occur. On these newer trucks, it doesn't seem to be as prevalent as some of the older trucks, but that's one of the designs that Rough Country uses to try and avoid any kind of axle wrap situations. We got our N3 shocks in the rear, nitrogen charged shock, and then our bump stop relocation brackets, which bolt to the axle here so that the bump stop will still come into play. And then of course we got some more brake line relocation stuff going on in the back. Nothing exciting there, but it allows you to use all the factory lines. As you can see on the Fords here, there's quite a lot of stuff going on. We got 2 brake lines, 2 wheel speed sensors, some other electronics for vehicle speed off the diff, electric parking brake, a lot of stuff going on back here as you can see. So we got to get that dropped down and make sure nothing is tight on there. Otherwise, that's going to be about it for the rear of the truck, and that's going to be about it for the whole lift kit. That's going to be the Rough Country 6-inch kit for F-150.